crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir. RoadRoot.com with your morning heart disease, a sip of chaga tea. Lots going on, as usual, on the road to Ruta. I just posted the page word Wednesday. The word is gold. Gold. I love gold. We talk about gold a little bit. And we actually did also a little segment on Grand Canyon gold. I've done some work with Jenny Moonstone on the Grand Canyon gold. And I'm be putting that together, some of that information together for the private road members on Friday. So that will be posted on Friday. And you guys will love it. You guys will absolutely love it. But here's something I really love, and it's not like I haven't been saying this for a hell of a long time. September, which is a couple days away, should theoretically see the ending of the major manipulation of gold and silver. It'll still be manipulated. They're going to try to drag it on longer, but the major manipulation, as in the number one rigger, J.P. Morgan, will be slapped on the wrist fairly painfully. Not to them. You know, they made billions, if not trillions, off rigging all markets. But it does signal the end. So that's why we're seeing this rise in price into the end of the August COMEX contract. The COMEX contract, the last day of trading is Thursday. You give your delivery notifications on Friday, and the first day of delivery is on Monday. So basically, they have 3 days. Unless they want to deliver, they have 3 days, including today. No, 2 days. Wow, only 2 days. 2 days, including today, to either close out their contract or they may be susceptible to delivery. That's scary. And to close out the contract, if no one wants to sell, you're going to see stuff like this. Instantaneous spikes in prices. I mean, they're panicking. If they don't close out the contract, which is either roll it over, they're going to have to buy. They're going to have to buy somewhere, and nobody's willing to sell other than them, the market riggers that are currently short. Really interesting time. I do expect to see a lot of cash payments behind the scenes. I can't help it. I don't have a million ounces of silver. What do you mean you don't have a million ounces of silver? 1 billion ounces of silver trades on your goddamn market every day. I don't have 1 million ounces. Yeah, so you're going to see stuff like this. It's going to be hyper volatile. If you follow the road to Ruta, what do? You sit back in your lawn chair, your silver lawn chair, your silver throne, and you watch the game play out. With a computer, you can click a mouse and put the price to zero, or put it at $1 million an ounce. That's how easy it is to rig these criminal exchanges. I do think we will have a shutdown of these exchanges between now and the end of the year. So it might be September. We might be looking at it. I've talked more about that on the road to on the private road. All right. So here's where we stand. All you got to do is go to the silver futures. Yesterday, about 700 million ounces traded, which is like par for the course now. I mean, August will be by far the largest total volume month in silver in the history of silver. And don't try to tell me, oh, Bix, you've been saying this for years. You always say it's different this time. It is different this time. Trust me, my friends, it is different this time. You never see these banks taking losses on their silver short positions. And that's all they've been doing this year. And the losses are getting painful. And the criminality, you never see them get busted either. But the criminality is starting to get busted. Scotiabank just had to pay $127 million in fines for price fixing precious metals. And we all know it was a collusion act between 3 or 4 different banks. And that was even said by the DOJ. So they can't stop now. You want to wait for something big, wait for this one. The J.P. Morgan getting busted. Yes, J.P. Morgan has 6 traders. 3 of them at least are on RICO charges, which is racketeering. Racketeering charges. That's a big deal. And that's why the battle is going on. And they have been told, You stand down on silver and gold manipulation, or we will take you out and put you in jail, Mr. Diamond, Miss Blythe Masters, who never rigs any markets. Oh, no, we wouldn't do that. That would be illegal, and we would not do that. Right, Blythe? Right, Blythe?
We are very excited about the prospects for growth in this particular area.
And you're looking at growth not only in agriculture and in metals and in oil, but across the board in all facets. That's what you're investing in. A lot of concern has been placed, though, about JP Morgan's, particularly its positions in the metals space. And looking at your positions in silver, we talked earlier about the volatility in the silver market. Can you talk about JP Morgan's positions and price volatility, and how are they related?
Yeah, that's a great question, and you're right that there's been a tremendous amount of speculation, particularly in the blogosphere about
Particularly in the blogosphere. Yes, in the blogosphere, because the CFTC wasn't doing his job. How about this? All these charges have to do with the time that she ran the commodities division for JP Morgan. Everybody was screaming. She came out on CNBC and said, "Oh no, we don't rig markets. It's those blogosphere people."
This topic. And I think the challenge is that speculation represents a misunderstanding as to the nature of our business. As I mentioned earlier, our business is a client-driven business where we execute on behalf of clients to achieve their financial and risk management objectives. The challenge is that commentators don't see all of that activity simultaneously. So just to give you a simple example, we store significant amounts of commodities, for example, silver, on behalf of customers. We operate vaults in New York City, in Singapore.
The number one customer, by the way, is SLV, which they operate the silver holdings of SLV. SLV leases metal. JP Morgan doesn't have it. They got it rigging every single market. And BlackRock is the owner of SLV. BlackRock is knee deep in silver manipulation. And when the COMEX ends, keep an eye on SLV manipulation going on through BlackRock. I'm just saying. But listen to what the Wicked Witch further goes on to say.
And in London. And often when customers have that metal stored in our facilities, they hedge it on a forward basis through JP Morgan, who in turn hedges itself in the commodity markets. If you see only the hedges and our activity in the futures market, but you aren't aware of the underlying client position that we're hedging, then it would suggest inaccurately that we're running a large directional position.
Yes.
In fact, that's not the case at all. We have offsetting positions. We have no stake in whether prices rise or decline. Rather, we're running a flat or a relatively matched
So
book.
it's not, because what is commonly out there is that JP Morgan is manipulating the metals market. And from what you're outlining, that is not possible because of the different sides of the business that you're in part of.
That's right. It's not part of our business model. It would be wrong, and we don't do it.
It's not part of our business model. It would be wrong, and we don't do it. Oh, by the way, 3 of the people charged at JP Morgan admitted to doing it, admitted to rigging the gold and silver markets. And the other 3 would not admit it, so they're up on RICO charges. Blythe Masters belongs in jail with Jamie Dimon. Literally, if they're lucky, they should go to jail. Who was the only banker for Bernie Madoff? JP Morgan, the only banker. Who had to sign off on those transactions? Jamie Dimon and the board of directors. Why aren't they in jail? Why isn't this biatch in jail? Smug little face. Oh. Yeah, it's been a long battle. The good guys against Blythe. The Silver Warriors. We got a whole huge team of Silver spiritual knights coming in to destroy people like her. And all these people. Greg Smith, 55, of Scarsdale, New York. Smith was executive director and trader on Bank A. Bank A is JP Morgan. Everybody knows that. Precious metals desk in New York. He joined Bank A in May of 2008 after it acquired another bank, Bank B, also part of the manipulation. 100% manipulated. Michael Nowak, 45, from Montclair, New Jersey. Nowak was managing director and ran Bank A, JP Morgan's global precious metals desk. He joined Bank A in July 1996. How long has this been going on? Christopher Jordan, 47, of Mountainside, New Jersey. Jordan joined JP Morgan in March of 2006 and was executive director and trader on JP Morgan's precious metal desk in New York. Jordan left Bank A in December 2009 and worked as a precious metals trader at a Swiss bank, Bank C, who was also involved in this. How many banks? Scotiabank is not a Swiss bank. There's 3. And this, if you want to get smart, read a book called Fool's Gold about how the CDS, credit swap, derivative swaps, the credit derivatives. My God, Blythe Masters was knee-deep in promoting that, in driving credit default swaps. She was the one driving the credit default swaps, which caused the crash of 2008. And then they put her in charge of commodities, turned it completely into derivatives, made them start trading massive amounts of derivatives to control and rig the markets. She belongs in jail. Why are they only going after the heads of the department? Why don't they go after the bosses? Why don't they go after the legal department at JP Morgan? Why don't they go after the HR department at JP Morgan? They all belong in jail. If they weren't participating in it, and at least they knew about it, they knew about the charges, and it was their job. Yes, even HR. It's your job to police your employees. And you knew about it and you let it happen. Just as bad. Jamie Dimon probably orchestrated the whole thing. The board of directors of JP Morgan should all be taken out and flogged and arrested while you're at it. All right, where the hell am I? Silver doing great. Don't worry about silver. $26, you'll be laughing. In 2 years, you're going to look back and say, oh my God, I could have bought silver under $10,000 and I didn't do it. What the hell was I thinking? 1-to-1 ratio with gold. Give me anything, any reason why gold and silver ratio shouldn't be 1-to-1 or even probably better for silver. Other than price. Any reason other than price. Every other reason points to 1-to-1, 10-to-1, 1-to-10, not 75-to-1 or whatever it is right now. Any reason? I'm waiting. I'm sitting here waiting. Tell me why the gold-silver ratio should be 70-to-1. Other than price, because that's rigged on the COMEX. Give me one reason. Please, in the comments below this video, give me one reason that the gold-silver ratio should be 70-to-1. And I can argue why the reason is ridiculous, because there is no reason other than market manipulation. Anyway, hopefully you have your silver in your hand and you are ready. We are in it. We are in the mix. We are in the end of 150 years of price manipulation. If you don't have any physical silver in your hand, now's the time to be careful too. Careful who you deal with. You can use my broker, Andy Scheckman. Send him an email, andy@milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com, and he can get you some silver in your own possession. At this point in time, I would say just have him ship what's in inventory. Don't wait on something. He can get anything, but don't wait on something. If he's got it in inventory, wire in the money and get it in your hands as soon as possible. And be careful of dealing with people. Hey, I got silver eagles for $3 over spot. 10-to-1, they're fake. A lot of fake silver eagles coming out of China right now. Make sure you know who you're dealing with. All right, that's the excitement. Again, go watch the video I just posted with Paige about gold. It's really good, the Word Wednesday. And I will be posting the other part about gold in the Grand Canyon, along with the Jenny Moonstone information. I'll be posting that on Friday for the private road. Go to roadtoroot.com and hit subscribe today. And I will be sending you some theta. We tried to do a theta, Anycast last night. Still, I think it's in the beta version. I will be posting that, a link to it. A lot of people couldn't get on live. A link to it later today. and I'll be emailing it. Make sure you're on the Road to Ruta email. Go to roadtoruta.com. It's free emails on the left side there, name and email. And then I'll be sending you emails with all this exciting stuff. And we are knee deep in the silver battle. I do expect silver to be breaking over $100 this year if it stops that $100. I don't think it will. We could easily see a force majeure, meaning all markets just freeze up in 2020. So what can you do? Get out of the markets, get out of SLV, get out of mining stocks, get yourself some physical. Physical will do so much better than mining stocks. I know you're in mining stocks for the leverage it gives you, but don't forget the risk, the third-party risk. As the banks crash, all the mining stocks are going to crash to zero. Why? Because of nationalization and confiscation. They can't come and get your silver. You've got a gun as well, hopefully. I don't think confiscation will happen. Nationalization will happen, especially if it's foreign companies owning domestic mines. For example, foreign Canadian, a lot of the mining companies are situated in Canada and own mines all around the world. You know, what citizen in their right mind in South America would allow a Canadian investor or a New York investor to take the wealth of the world out of their country when their banks have failed? None. Now is the time. Physical, in your own possession, no third party. I don't care how nice they are. No third parties. Now is the time to take care of yourself. We are leaving the nanny state. I know it's difficult, but it's time to take care of yourself. In protection, in assets, in every part of our lives. In teaching our kids. Absolutely. It's time to take care of yourself. We are no longer in the baby bird's nest. I wrote one of my books has a chapter on leaving the nanny state. And it's fairly brutal. I mean, leaving the nest I was writing, comparing it to bald eagles who, a small percentage of bald eagles actually go from fertilization to actually a large flying bird flying around. The actual first flight is horrific. A lot of birds will fall out of the nest and that's it. Your life's over. So, yeah, that's where we are. A lot of the birds, the baby birds that are U.S. citizens now, you might not know it, but you've belonged to a nanny state. The nanny state does everything for us. And we're leaving that world. We're going into a new world. And you need to take care of yourself. Listen to what Paige says about, I forgot what she called it. Self-determination. Something really cool. Go check it out. Anyway, this is Bix Weir. RoadToRuta.com. I'm going to end it with a little song about they who are going to shadow ban this video. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, I grew up in the USA. I was taught that speech was free. Birmingham to Burning Man, you can speak any truth you see. Lately things have changed, they say I can't speak truth no more. And I'm just sitting here wondering who they are working for. See, they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Unless I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Unless I pretend that socialism's a-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say as they kill free speech in the USA. They decide what's right, they decide what's wrong, they ban what won't conform. They sit in shadows, they run the gallows, say I must abide the norm. Without free speech we lose freedom, they cut off our free will. If I find truth that they don't like, they'll label me a shill. And then they're they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Yes, I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Yes, I pretend that socialism's a-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say, as they kill free speech in the USA. They're trying to kill free speech in the USA. Now wait a minute, it's not like me to give up on a fight. I'll expose their evil plans, bring their shadows into light. And I'll name names, I'll play their games, I've got them in my sight. They're trying to change the USA, I'll fight for what is right. So they can kick me off of YouTube. 9/11's all about building 7 and it ain't okay. And they can delete all my Facebook. But socialists fail every time in every single way. And they can shadow ban my Twitter. But I'm looking up at chemtrail skies each and every day. See, they have no right to ban anything I have to say. And I'll fight for free speech in the USA. I'm gonna fight for free speech in the USA. It's my right, free speech in the USA.